Hello,
Hello,
this is Rodney.
and this is G.
We changed our shirts so you won't know we're recording on the same day.
All right, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, today we're talking about another part of our recent summer travels, and honestly, this was the first part of our summer travel. We're going to talk about flying into Fargo, driving across North Dakota, staying in Dickinson, the Enchanted Highway, and dirt roads.
All right, flying into Fargo. I never thought I would ever say that, but we flew into Fargo.
Yeah, love the movie. It's it's not a bad airport or anything. It's a regional airport. I'd say it's probably about the size of Asheville, smaller than Greenville, but it was going through a lot of construction when we were there. And so it made the navigating, we still didn't really have any trouble finding anything. Got our car, hit on the road, decided we wanted a different car, but we took it back and switched it out.
So that was a crazy thing.
Yeah.
But we did fly Allegiant, and we did not have any trouble whatsoever
Nope.
getting to Fargo and then leaving from Fargo.
No problems
2 weeks
at all.
later.
Going back in there, navigating your way around the airport, everything.
Easy.
It was a nice airport regionally. And I think that in Fargo, where we noticed the prices of things at the airport were not as bad as it was like in Sanford, Orlando, some of the other airports. So if you wind up being there and need something to eat, that's not a bad place to go.
And right off of the airport, on that road, there's tons of restaurants and fast food places you could try.
Fargo's kind of a spread out city. So it was nice enough.
So once we arrived to Fargo, we drove all the way across to get to Dickinson, which was going to be our stay for the next 3 days, I think it was.
Yeah, and here's the thing to do. If you like to know what North Dakota's like, find yourself a nice pleasant picture of a grassy green meadow, stare at it for about 5.5 hours, and that's what it's like to drive across North Dakota.
I have to laugh because it's true. All right.
We've been to some remote places in our travels. This is probably the most remote area. There's oil fields.
A lot of oil fields.
There's just nothing
There's
up
nothing.
there, man. Even what they call a city is spread out. Honestly, I didn't even know I'd been through Bismarck. When we went through Bismarck, the town of Bismarck on the interstate, granted, I didn't get off and ride around, but I didn't even realize I'd been there.
And you're there for hours and hours and hours, and there's no stops. There's no restaurants. There's no gas stations. So we made sure we didn't know where we were going to be encountering, but we did know that every day before leaving the hotel, we always gassed up. Even if we only used a quarter of a tank, we always gassed up. And thank goodness, because sometimes we were driving for 5 hours and there was nothing.
Some snacks and some food in the car. Fortunately, we ate lunch in Fargo before we left and drove out there. What a long drive of nothing. And it was pretty, but after you've seen it for an hour, how much more of it can you take? Got out to Dickinson, and that's where we stayed for our visit out there. We stayed 3 nights, and it was a pleasant enough place to stay.
Okay.
That was not a problem. The hotel was nice.
There were some nice restaurants.
It was like one of those extended things.
We had a brewery.
There was. The downtown area had some decent restaurants. It was no place I'd want to stay for a long, long time or live, but we ate at
we had good food.
What was the name of the brewery that was there?
Fat Fish. Fat with
Brewery?
PHAT. Fat Fish.
It was very good. The food was great.
And Blue 42.
Yeah. Every place we tried to eat, the food was just terrific.
Everybody was friendly too.
And everybody was great.
Yeah, there's nothing to do.
If you want a cold beer, man, you can find it there. There's not a lot else to do, so I'm sure they do their share of drinking. Yes. And I had a nice flight there at the brewery.
All right.
But I'll tell you, we saw a lot of signs about suicide prevention
on the road,
literally, and more than usual. And it made us look it up. I looked up the rates, and sure enough, that the suicide rate was higher in that state than average for other places in the country. And there's nothing to do. I'm sure people there get lonely, don't see a way out. There are people staying at the extended stay hotel that work in the oil fields. That's the draw.
Yeah.
It's the oil fields.
I mean, even when we met that young man, I mean, later on in South Dakota, we met that young man that was from Miami, and he moved there because of his parents.
God.
He was ready to turn 18 so that he can get out of
He's
there.
saving his money so when he's 18 he
Can go
move
back to Miami.
And this was North Dakota. Now I'll tell you, South Dakota looks a lot like North Dakota. The difference is there are more people in South Dakota. There were villages, farms, places, but in North Dakota, man, it just went on and on.
I mean, it was just hours and hours of empty roads.
Yeah.
I mean,
Outside,
hours.
Dickinson had everything you need. We went to the Walmart there, the shopping, the stores. It's fine.
Yeah.
I bet that's a rough place to be in the wintertime, don't you?
Yeah, I don't want to be there.
Man.
So then we then went to Enchanted Highway.
Yeah, Enchanted Highway is about 8 to 10 minutes outside of Dickinson.
And it's called Enchanted Highway 72, and it's a 32-mile stretch of metal structures.
Yeah.
It was created by a local artist who used to be a school teacher and a principal. His name was Gary Greff, and he did this all by himself. And he started in 1989.
Some of them are close enough together that you could see the next one, and some of them are 7 or 8 miles apart.
But it was 32-mile stretch, and there's about 12 structures. I mean, they have different ones.
The birds of the sky.
Birds, the flying
was the first
geese,
one.
the
Yeah, that was the
boats,
first one.
grasshoppers. They have Teddy Roosevelt. I mean, these things were massive. I'll show you some of the pictures
It's
where he's
very
standing.
impressive.
I mean, the fact that they're massive, and he did this all by himself, all welding it together.
Yeah, he had a vision for what it would look like, because if you're doing that, I know it's tedious work, it's hard work, and to be able to envision what it's going to look like from a distance after you're finished, it was very impressive.
You could see it from the highway.
And you follow him, and it takes you basically into his little hometown, and there's not much of anything there.
Of Regent.
But it stops at his last sculpture, the Knight and the Dragon.
The Knight and
then
the Dragon, the little castle.
From there, we drove back over and cut back up into Dickinson. It looked like the rest of the area, but it's worth it to see these structures that this guy did. It was impressive.
It was impressive. Then we decided to drive to Devil's Tower in South Dakota.
No, Devil's Tower is actually in Wyoming.
In Wyoming.
And we'll talk about
Dickinson.
it later, but
We're going to talk about the road.
we wanted to include this in talking about North Dakota because, you know, there's not like a straight shot. We knew it was going to be about a 4-hour trip that day to get to Devil's Tower, but it just made sense because of everything else we had planned in Rapid City. It made sense for us to do it on this particular travel day. So we drove to Devil's Tower, and after seeing it, drove back into Rapid City. Man, that drive to go from Dickinson to Devil's Tower, we looked it up on
the
GPS, followed the directions, and it told us ahead of time there are 26 miles of unpaved road. Now listen, these are not bad roads. These are not like rutted, you know, we were wondering what am I going to find. These were not the type of dirt roads that are all beat up with a bunch of potholes and things like that.
But they were dirt.
It's pretty much 26 miles of just absolute nothing.
Dirt road.
We saw probably 2 houses, and we saw a group of cowboys learning to rope calves. Probably maybe 12 of them out there.
No gas stations.
Listen,
no place to stop to eat.
When I tell you that's all we
Nothing.
saw, I mean that's all we saw. You got to use a bathroom. You want to get out and relieve yourself on the side of the road.
On the dirt road.
Miles and miles of nothing.
Nothing.
You ain't got to worry about traffic. Nobody's going to see you. I wouldn't say I know that from experience.
Yeah. But
It's
there's
true.
these little tiny birds that kept on flying. There was nothing. I guess they were trying to find a place so they can stay. They kept on flying in front of a car, and I kept on telling them, these birds are suicidal. They're little birds. I don't know what they were, but they're suicidal. They kept on coming in front of the car like they were not afraid. Well, sure enough, when we get to the other end,
we hit one of them.
We hit one of them, and it was
and
on
it was
the grill.
still there when we turned the car in.
So sad.
Now, I do have a theory, though. This car they put us in was a very unique color. It was a shade of gray, and it looked almost like a cloudy day. I really think the reflection from this car threw them off, because you could look at this car, and it almost blended in with the landscape.
Because it was a gorgeous day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had a bird
I think
that got
that's
caught.
what happened.
Sad. But yeah, it was interesting. And again, we made sure we had gas, and thank goodness we had gas, because once we got into that dirt road, I mean, there was no going back.
No.
That's it. You're there.
No, and you don't get cell phone service through most of that whole area.
No cell phone. Like, so many times the GPS will just be rounding, trying to get out. We just figure out, well, there's nowhere else to go. It's just stay on that road.
It took us into South Dakota and Wyoming. Did we see a Montana sign at one point?
We saw a Montana sign.
I think we passed.
That said, "Welcome to Montana. Welcome to Wyoming."
We passed through all those states getting there.
Yeah.
And now, we've said this already on our last video, and I'll say it again here. There's places you go and you're like, oh man, I got to get back there. For us, this is not one of those. Glad I went. We had a great time. No animosity toward the area or anything. It's just, there's no need for me to ever go back.
Yeah.
I don't expect I'll ever be there again.
All right. So enjoy the pictures.
Yep, enjoy the pictures. And we will have more. I guess our next video will be about some of the things in Rapid City. We'll be breaking that down for you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.